Look at Xbox hardware. I think this generation is pretty much a lost cause.
It's a lost cause. Xbox is a lost cause. What shall I do?
Hardware is just in the toilet.
It's in the toilet. Xbox is in the toilet. Casey Day, Starfield, and Indiana Jones is in the toilet. You might as well flush it, guys. It's over.
Basically, I don't think it really makes business
Bro, what
sense.
is wrong with you people, man? Like, y'all 50 years old, still talking about console wars, man. But what's even more funny about this, at least these Xbox dudes talk about Xbox, while you PlayStation gamers are doing what? Talking about Xbox. See, there you go. That's my point. And what's even more funny, do you guys know that all of these companies are going to cease to exist in regards to the console gaming landscape because it's not as profitable as it was before? Nintendo will be the only last company continuing to do it, and that's why they did the low-end hardware with the Nintendo Switch. So by that time Nintendo finally gets to 4K, which they very likely, more likely can do, guess what? They extended the longevity of their company. Now with Sony, with gaming becoming more expensive to make, with these higher graphical gaming engines, Unreal Engine 5, you guys know what I'm saying. Sony's not going to be able to continue onward. Y'all sitting there saying, well, the PlayStation 5's doing good in hardware sales, but you're not looking at the bigger picture. They don't have the money to be able to continue at PlayStation 6, 7, or 8. They're already complaining that gaming is getting too expensive now. To the point where they like, we can't do AAAs. We got to do AA games on this powerful piece of hardware. Come on, man. You got to ask yourself, seems like Sony don't have the funds to be able to continue onward. And as much as you people want to bash Xbox, oh, bro, let me tell you something. Let me break it down for you. If Xbox only sold 20 consoles, Microsoft could still continue that on. You know why? Because they have the money to. So as much as you people want to point out the fact that Xbox can't outsell the PlayStation 5, it don't matter. Microsoft has enough money to at least essentially compensate for all these quote-unquote failure consoles that they got coming out, right? Which is not a failure. They're making a lot of money through their Game Pass Ultimate subscription service. That's why they want you to subscribe to it. Unlike PlayStation, where you guys don't even have your own massive multiplayer game, and those games are owned by Microsoft. That's why y'all like, I don't know why Sony's doing these live services subscription games, because they're trying to take the money from Overwatch. They're trying to take the money from Call of Duty because they want people to support their platform for the games that they have, not to go out there and buy Xbox games. You think Sony made a whole console just so you can play Xbox games on it? Or do you think that Sony made the console for you to buy exclusive games that they made for you? You see? So when you sit there and brag about, oh, we got Sea of Thieves and we got Hi-Fi Rush, bro, Sony's sitting there saying to themselves, man, look at our own games getting overshadowed. They don't even want to pick up the next Uncharted game because they're too busy playing maybe Gears of War Ultimate Edition on the PlayStation 5. That is the philosophy that Microsoft is doing, and I'm telling you, it's going to work. They Trojan horsed your whole company. They got a parasite on your device to the point where Sea of Thieves is the most played game and not in an exclusive title like Stellar Blade. This is only going to fundamentally hurt Sony because Sony's already in a bad position already. That's why they're like, you know what, man, let's try these live service and subscription games, even if they suck, because if we can get just one to work, that'll be a reason to keep the PlayStation platform. And they're like, GameStop, where you getting your sources from, man? I ain't never heard of these sources from GameSpot or IGN. Yes, these are the GameStop sources. And I'm telling you, the PlayStation 6 is in development. That's why I advise you guys to go out there and support your exclusives, because if you don't, Sony's no longer going to fund in hardware. Microsoft is only using the Xbox to get back at Sony. That's it. The Xbox helped revitalize PC gaming. They finally got the vision that they wanted. They got the monopoly. They got the control. They don't care about the console like that. You're like, why would you support a company that don't care about your console? They care enough to put the same games that they're putting on PC on it. So of course I don't care. Because if I have to go to PC to play these games, then I will. It doesn't bother me. I don't care about this. The platform don't make the gamer. Because I'm going to play my games regardless. See, that's what you people don't understand. Even if my games was on Nintendo, PlayStation, or Xbox, or even if it was just solely on PC, a gamer's going to play their games regardless, no matter what you tell them. And you gamers are going to do the same thing too when you see the reality for yourself.
Hold up. That's the same as in the toilet. Wasn't he Mr. Wavy Hands?
Yes.
Wasn't he Mr. Back?
Failing to realize we're only 3.5 years into this generation. We're not even 4 years into this generation.
It doesn't matter, J-Dub, if we're only 3 years and a half, bro. This generation was garbage, bro. You tell me when the PS4 came out, did you have to wait that long to play some next generation games? Because you didn't. So ain't nobody want to hear your excuses as to why you capping for the PlayStation 5.
Yo, look at Paris. Right. Look at Paris's face on the screen. Oh, that dude's exhausted.
Look at Shaggy's. Bro. Look at Shaggy's. Yeah, look at Ryan's face.
They are exhausted, bro.
This is how you know PlayStation gamers are not concerned about their own platform. All you guys are doing is projecting. Sony's going through the same thing, man. They are. And the funny thing is, y'all want to keep bringing up the fact that PS5 is outselling Xbox, even though you only probably got 1 or 2 consoles of each in your home. I don't care about what 29 other million people do with their consoles, because more than likely, they're not playing games like I play anyway. They're not supporting the gaming industry the way I support it. See, but what you people don't understand is the fact that just because something don't sell as much as the competition, that don't mean the platform's doing bad. See, that's what you people don't understand. Oh, Gangsta, you capping! Ah! So is the PSP a failure to the Nintendo DS? Oh, no, it's not. But the PSP sold worse than the DS. Huh? So is the PSP a failure? That's not how it works. Exactly. So just because something don't sell as well, at least in the grand schemes of a console, doesn't mean that the platform was a failure. Because the PSP was a successful portable from Sony. It didn't outsell the Nintendo DS, but still, they still made a lot of money out of it. Do you guys get my point? And this is why I don't engage with you fake wannabe console fanboy warriors, because at the end of the day, all you people is doing is fighting for nothing. Sony don't have the money to be able to continue at PlayStation 6, 7, 8, 9. They are willing to do a 6, but you people have to lock down and buy your games, man. Sony's getting sick and tired of you guys buying the PS5 to play third-party and Xbox games. And what's even more embarrassing is the fact that Sony's like, yo, we can't even get a live service or subscription game. And there's no way that we can get money out of our fans because they would rather opt out for other gaming experiences. Sega had this problem too with the Dreamcast. They did. You know, with the whole EA deal and how that fundamentally destroyed their company because people got so used to playing these EA games on Dreamcast that people weren't really feeling the 2K football and the 2K basketball until afterwards. Now people are like, oh, these are the greatest games in the world. But when these games came out, nobody cared. Everybody was still playing NBA Live.
They discussed it.
Their spirit is over, bro. They're like, holy shit. All right, let's hear this.
For Microsoft to be investing in this next generation of hardware when you can't even sell your current console and you can't give people a reason to buy your current generation of console. Like, clearly, it's not happening for them, right?
Why do you guys want the Xbox to sell like the PlayStation? Like,
boy.
Like, it's stupid. It's like, just because people buy a console doesn't necessarily mean they're buying it for the reasons that you want. I would say that Microsoft has 29, 30 million of their hardcore Xbox audience buying their games that are actually supporting the Gear Z days, the Indiana Jones, the Stella, what is it? Starfield and stuff like that. You got them supporting the Xbox for all the right reasons. Sony can have that extra additional 30 million because that additional 30 million are only playing the same game that Microsoft is funding, which happens to be Call of Duty. So I'm not completely bothered by this. I think Microsoft did this as a quick hustle and they know what's going on. They're making a lot of money. Like I said, Sony's day only make Microsoft's payday. So whatever Sony get and Microsoft decides to drop, all that money is just going to Microsoft. That's why you're getting all these incredible games through Game Pass, man. I'm here for the moment. I'm not here to think 10, 15, 20 years, for the future of these companies, because I'm telling you, it's not a bright one. It's not a bright one. The gaming industry is in a bad position right now, and that's why I try to tell you guys, from everybody, Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox, just enjoy your games, because all this stuff that you're saying doesn't matter. All these companies here, hear me out. All these companies are going to cease to exist in consoles, and they're going to be manufactured by AMD, essentially be a set-top box. That's what your console is going to be, a set-top box. It's going to be AMD, and you're going to have to get the PlayStation application on it. You just click on it. You could do Xbox Game Pass as well as as well as Nintendo having their own thing, including Steam. And it'll be as simple as hitting an application on your phone. That's what gaming is coming down to. Maybe I'm bringing up points that are maybe just a little too far past your realm, past your little modern realm. But that's the direction that gaming is going. All Sony's going to be is an application on your phone. Y'all like, wow, consoles are, y'all don't want to see it, man. Y'all don't want to see it, but it's okay though. It's fine because you got to understand that these consoles, are costing these companies too much money, and people are buying these consoles for the wrong reasons. Microsoft has more of a reason to continue their console game division because at least people are buying it for Game Pass Ultimate. So every time they sell a console, they're like, okay, we know he's gonna get Game Pass Ultimate because of the value. But Sony, on the other hand, we get these sales with PS5, but they buying it for Call of Duty, they buying it for the Xbox games. Yoshida's like, this ain't gonna work. We need them to buy it for our games, not Xbox games. And y'all don't want to see it.
Man. And hear how J
orders and how they've done. It was a 32% decline, I believe. It was a 30-something percent decline year over year for the last investor call. It's a 42% decline.
See, this is what happens when gamers think they're businessmen and think they understand the financial aspect of the gaming industry, bro. What happened to the days, guys, when gamers used to play games? Y'all remember that era when people used to talk about Killzone 2 and 3, even though these games failed, but we never knew those games failed. We found out these games failed until afterwards. Now you know when a game fails. You know what I'm saying? And I think what's going on here is that's taken a lot of enjoyment from your guys' experiences. I think it's stopping you guys from actually gaming because I don't remember this nonsense. Back then, I thought Killzone 3 was a freaking success. But then I should have wondered as to why I was playing with some of the same people on the game. But still, I thought the game was a success. I thought there was millions of people playing it with me. But it wasn't. There wasn't. You feel me? You guys allow this to impact your personal gaming experience because you know why? Y'all ain't no gamers, man. Y'all know y'all doing this. Y'all know why you're doing it. I don't have to explain. Y'all know exactly as to why y'all making these videos.
Year over year at this call. And they've already said, hey, expect next time that we're going to see another decline in hardware year over year. You're talking about the world's most powerful console, the Xbox Series X, potentially not selling as many units as the Xbox One did.
Well, you can't compare that because considering that I think it's going to sell about the same. I think the Xbox Series X and S is going to sell about the same. You got to remember, guys, okay? At that time, there was more games, man, you know what I mean? Destiny, even though GTA 5 was new. Remember GTA 5? And when that got ported over, a lot of people jumped ship to these platforms. You got to understand, GTA is what's saving these consoles, man. I hate to say it. It's very sad for me to say, but until Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, I can guarantee you're going to see a huge amount of people buying these consoles. A huge amount, man. Grand Theft Auto 6 saved these consoles, bro. Y'all don't want to admit it. Y'all don't even 2K, basketball. None of those games was able to get these people to jump ship. None of them. So imagine if GTA 6 was a cross-generation game. Ooh, that would hurt these companies, bro. That would single-handedly hurt these companies.
Which Xbox fully admits was the year to lose. They lost to the PS4. They got trounced. That affects mind share.
They did not lose to the PS4. Where are you getting this information? Like I said, it goes back to my original argument. Just because a platform can outsell the competition doesn't mean the console was a failure. Say it with me. Whatever this game, Destin Pereira, whatever his name is. That doesn't mean it failed. It still sold about 50, 60 million. Microsoft was still recouping a lot of money off their games. And then Game Pass Ultimate was reintroduced, right? No, not reintroduced. It was introduced, right? So there you go. They made their money off their subscription. Sony did the same exact thing.
Etc. It's concerning to me as a fan to look at these numbers and see these things. And then they see the pushback from fans who talk about the things that, look, we all know software and services.
And let's also not forget that PlayStation sells their platform in more regions than Xbox. If you think about it, Xbox is actually doing better. You capping. There you go with the cap. No. Xbox sells in way less regions than the PlayStation 5. Way less regions. And they still selling 30 million? So they dependent on the Europeans and the Americans back solely? Because we know they don't support it in Japan. We know they don't support it in all these other nations. So you try to tell me that America alone, is as the Xbox an American console, is the America alone is holding the Xbox down? That's quite a lot of people if you're talking about just only a handful of regions. You got to remember, PlayStation is promoted in Japan, Europe especially. They're promoted in way more countries than the Xbox. So that does have a lot to do with why the PS5 is outselling the Xbox Series X. But who cares? At the end of the day, they all making money. Microsoft's making money off their little bit of countries, and Sony's doing the same thing. You feel me? But they don't want to look at it like that. They don't want to bring up the fact that PlayStation 5 is in more regions of the world than the Xbox.
It's increasing. But do you like the Xbox, the actual physical hardware, or do you not care about that? Because that's what I'm focusing in on. I'm not talking about Xbox as a business. I'm not talking about Microsoft's gaming division. I'm talking specifically about the hardware. And the hardware is failing.
I didn't know that. And the funny thing is, the hardware is not failing. Microsoft is making enough money off their Game Pass Ultimate subscriptions. That's the reason as to why y'all I don't understand why Microsoft taking losses on the console, because that's what it's always been. Companies have always taken losses on console. Destin Pereira, they always took losses on the consoles, but they made their money back with the games. In this situation, Game Pass Ultimate. That's the philosophy here. You're going to take losses while developing a console. Consoles have never... You got to understand, guys. You are buying... Listen, say it with me. You are buying a platform that has 10 to 12 teraflops. Listen to me. PlayStation 5, DualSense technology controller. Okay? This is all included with the purchase of a console. 1 terabyte SSD. That's already priced at $200. You guys do know this. Not included... Bruh. See, this is how I know you guys don't know nothing about PC. Including all the parts, modified, in some cases, modified parts, right? Because it's not as big as a PC, so they'll take modified PC components and make them smaller, which ends up costing them more money than if they just had a bigger CPU, right? What do you people don't understand? Your console is what on paper it's worth more. I don't know about now, but when they came out, were worth about $800 to $1,000 on paper with the modified parts. You feel me? One terabyte SSD, controller, console, components in the console for $500, bro. And y'all, oh yeah, they making money. They making money, bro. They barely made money off the 1 terabyte SSD, bro. Those are priced at $200 something, bro. That's why y'all complain about I can't afford no expansion card for my Xbox because they about $200. Yeah, and that's just a little memory card that you pay for. So what makes you think that the stuff that they put in your console was cheaper? What makes you think that they're making money off $500 for selling you a console? Oh, you know what? Hold on. A disk drive. Y'all don't want to bring up this? A disk drive. Okay, if that's the models you bought, a disk drive on top of 1 terabyte SSD, PlayStation 5 DualSense controller technology. Okay, Xbox don't have that, but that's fine. Come on, man. I mean, if you want to get stingy power cord and HDMI, $299 for each. We got to add the power cord, the AC cord. You guys know exactly where I'm coming from. Modified components in your console, that costs money. You do understand that. And on top of that, the reason why it costs a little bit more, because Microsoft and Sony are not manufacturing their own parts. They're having AMD modify it for them, which is even costing them more to make. That's why I tried to tell you guys, consoles don't mean anything.
It is not meeting expectations.
You guys are all worried about the wrong thing, and that's the problem with the gaming industry. You guys are worried about consoles, but you're not worried about the attach rate of the said software. It's so embarrassing that the Wii U had a better attach rate with exclusive games than the PlayStation 5. I'm being serious. It does. Mario Kart 8 sold 8 million on it. I think Tropical Freeze 2 to 3 million. Their game sold better on the Wii U than what Sony's getting with the PlayStation 5.
Dramatic. Especially if you want to see them succeed. So I posted this.
Selling more consoles doesn't mean you're gonna succeed. What are you not understanding? Just because you sell consoles doesn't mean your console is successful. Not if they're buying. The reason as to why that is the case now, because of that subscription service. That's why Sony jumped on it with the PS4, because that's where the money's coming from. Sony's not getting money off you guys with the games. They're getting money off you dummies because you want to sit there and pay for the online. That's why when free-to-plays came out, this is where Sony was in dangerous territory. Microsoft was smart by putting games like, this was all done before that, but they didn't care. Their multiplayer games free-to-play. They're hurting Sony's multiplayer gaming market, and that's why Concord failed. That's why they're like, I'm not paying $40 for this because I'd rather just play Overwatch, and it's free through Xbox. Why would I pay for something that's, and on top of that, it's inferior? Microsoft has taken full control. Y'all don't want to see it, but it's okay. It's okay, but my sources tell me that PlayStation, Sony, I don't know. Like, if you guys ask me what I think, will Sony drop the PlayStation 6 eventually? I think it's dependent on the gamers. And I do think that Sony's going to have some talks with Rockstar in trying to re-release that game again for the PlayStation 6 to push it. So we'll see. So the PS6, it can be a possibility, guys. I'm telling you right now, it can be. But GTA 6 will be the reason as to why the PlayStation 6 will be a success again. So, like I said, man, they really depend. Sony's probably going to milk it. They're probably going to milk it with that game. I can guarantee that. And we'll see if Xbox follows suit as well.
And just the reaction is so bizarre to me. Please stop preaching to the lowest common denominator by banging on about consoles. Stop. They no longer matter next to software sales and subscription, with Microsoft was dominating it.
Exactly.
And even before the acquisition of Activision Blizzard. I'm like, they matter if you want Xbox to keep making consoles. So, like...
See, now Microsoft, what you fail to understand that all these companies are going to cease to exist, but Microsoft designed it in a way like, hey guys, our Xbox don't exist. You can continue all your games through the PC ecosystem. That's why they have an easy, the smart delivery and all these things, because they know. They already see the vision. You guys don't understand that. Microsoft already sees it. All right? They're visionaries when it comes to these things. Now, Sony... your things are going to be locked to a platform. You're not going to be able to carry your games the same way. You're going to essentially have to buy your games again, what you're already doing, through PS5 on PC. Microsoft says if you own it on Xbox, you can play it on PC already. So Microsoft already did a good transition for that. Sony's transition to PC is going to be horrible. It's going to be horrible. I'm telling you, when Sony fails to want to do consoles anymore, their transition to PC is going to be garbage. You're going to have to buy the same games over again, and that's going to be the end of Sony right there. That right there is going to be the end of Sony. So, yeah, they might want to stick with the console for a little bit longer, even if they're not losing sales, but they're going to do some third-party I'm sorry, I was about to say something. They're going to do some third-party stuff. You know what I mean? They're definitely going to do some third-party stuff. Maybe, like I said, get GTA 6 to come out on it. You know, they probably do it as not time exclusive, probably as a launch game for the PlayStation 6, and that should push a few more sales. But I don't know, man. I think people are still going to be happy with the PS5 version. So we'll see. We'll see how this turns out, man. Well, it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. And this is a conversation. If you have any thoughts on this, like, am I wrong that it doesn't make business sense to invest in selling fewer consoles year over year? Console matters, hardware matters. With no hardware, there is no software. Yes, every part of
That's not true. That's not true at all, because the software is still dropping somewhere else.
that matters.
Software and hardware go hand in hand. If you sell a console and you're buying it for the games that they don't want you to, there's one problem. If you're buying... Now, I look at it like this. As a person, if I was in business... and I'm looking at 30 million. If I'm having 30 million people buying my Game Pass Ultimate and my subscription service and not opting out for other games and whatever, then I'm on board with that. You could have the 60 million PlayStation 5s and be like, well, ain't none of y'all buying exclusives. We put 300 million on that game. They didn't buy my exclusive. We put 200 million on that. We didn't buy your exclusive. That's where Sony's losing their money. See, that's what you people don't understand. Sony is losing their money. That I'm telling you, Sony's not delaying no Last of Us and all that. They are scared to drop these games. They are scared. Y'all want to talk about Xboxes? No, Sony is scared to drop a Last of Us Part 2 multiplayer. They are scared because they don't want to invest that time and that money in a game that will potentially flop. That's all it is, bro. I broke it down. Spider-Man, that Spider. Oh, it got canceled. It looked like one of the greatest Spider-Man multiplayer games in the world. I can guarantee you that game was expensive. I can guarantee it. Sony is canceling games because they don't have the money to fund them. I just exposed it. Y'all like, oh, snap, Gamesters. That's a good point. They didn't want to do a Days Gone 2 because the development of that game would have been expensive. Oh, Gamester, we haven't seen a Ghost of Tsushima 2 yet because you know why? The budget of that game will be what, guys? Expensive. Do we have to go through the list? Is that why we get in remasters and cross-generation games? Because Sony can't afford to do next generation? Y'all like, oh, snap, Games. I think you just peeped something. Oh, yes, I did. I've been peeping this for a long time, bro. And that's what's crazy about it. That's why Sony's like, we're not doing AAAs. Have you noticed Sony's been doing more AA games? Have you noticed that? Where's the AAAs? Where's the big blockbuster games? And I can guarantee you that multiplayer game for Spider-Man was expensive. You can tell by the way it looked. Last of Us Part 2 multiplayer. That was expensive. Sony did not want to do it because of the expensive development costs. So at this point, Sony's the one going under because Microsoft don't have no problem funding gaming development.
There. You know what's crazy? He's asking, am I wrong? Bro, you copying our statements.
Bro, we seen enough of this garbage, man. I ain't trying to look at this cucaracha any longer. And Mr. I Like Myself. Actually, hold on. I Like Myself.
Exactly.
Hey!
For years.
My brother. Mr. Like Myself, man. I gotta find the real source of his channel and make some real videos on this man. Mr. Nanori Professor. I like myself. I like it. I wake up every morning because I like myself, man. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm going to stop this video too because I like myself, and I'm not trying to deal with this any longer. Take care. I like myself.